All right, guys, so just saying, since the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, all of the focus has been on Tyler Robinson, the shooter himself. And sure, obviously that makes sense, but here's the game that the Democrats are trying to play. Oh, there's just one crazy guy. Don't you dare try to tie him back to us. Yeah, that's not gonna work, guys. Because Robinson isn't just some lone wolf. He's the rotten fruit of a poisoned tree. We've talked plenty about the Democrat Party being part of the problem, but now we need to pull the camera back further and look at another institution marinated in left-wing rot academia. The culture of violence in these schools is baked in, folks. You've probably seen the endless streams of teachers cheering on Charlie Kirk's death online. But here's the kicker. It's one thing to mouth off on Twitter, but it's a completely other thing to preach it to a student, or students, I should say, in a classroom. And that's exactly what's happening. So now we have a secretly filmed video of a community college professor flat out praising the shooter in class. That right there is cancer. Radical indoctrination in schools. So let me show you what I mean. Let's roll this tape real quick. The first clip out of Greensboro, North Carolina, community college professor named Lisa Greenlee, caught telling her students, quote, "All praise the shooter."
So, prayers and thoughts for Charlie. No, I have no prayers and thoughts for him left from all my prayers and thoughts for these innocent children who did nothing wrong. We're not sending out divisive, hateful messages. We're not saying that empathy is the problem with America. I refer to him as the anti-empathy guy. I just want to make sure that y'all had heard about the school shooting, because to me that is something that is more concerning than a douchebag who brings karma down on himself. I mean, ironically, the moment he's getting shot, what is he doing? When he's asked about mass shootings, comparison to gang violence in a dismissive way, tell me that wasn't karma doing her finest work. Yeah, I'll praise the shooter. He did a good job.
And this right here, Charlie Kirk was warning us about for years. When you have a community college professor, someone literally paid to educate, standing in front of a classroom laughing and cheering over the assassination of a conservative leader, you've got to take a step back and ask yourself, how does this happen? And the answer is obvious. It starts in the universities and it bleeds all the way down to the community college level, and sometimes even into, like the high school level as well, like senior, junior year, that type of stuff. It's the same pipeline of the left-wing indoctrination, just at different stages. They're not preparing students for the real world. They're molding activists. And now with this Charlie Kirk shooting, the dots are practically connecting themselves. In fact, we even got a video here of the shooter and his family celebrating as he accepted a scholarship at UVU. Proof that the same institutions feeling his ideology were cheering him on long before the tragedy ever happened.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Utah officials stood alongside the FBI at the press conference. They explained that Tyler had only recently started getting political.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him.
Okay, so let's take a look at the timeline. The pattern is so obvious. The kid grows up in what looks like a perfectly stable conservative household. You go through social media and everything is normal. I mean, he comes from a tight-knit, loving family. But the second he sets foot into a university campus, boom, he morphs into this anti-fascist killer. That's the radicalism pipeline that Charlie has been warning us about for years. Walk across any campus today and what do you see? Posters screaming about Trump's so-called fascist regime. Stickers demanding you fight fascism, which in their dictionary means anyone who's right of Bernie Sanders. You've got professors babbling on about Marxist revolutions, whipping kids up into believing that they're living through a genocide or a fascist coup. The message is always the same. If someone disagrees with you, rise up, take action, do something. Well, the seed gets planted in those classrooms. And now we're staring at the harvest. Blood in the streets and more blood on the Democrats' hands. If you want proof, all you need to do is look at the reactions of the students when the Charlie Kirk news broke out. What we have here is all footage of a conservative speaker on campus at the very moment news came out that Charlie Kirk had been shot. Watch the students' instinctive reaction. It tells you everything.
Because I think there are...
Greg, come here. What? Greg, hold on for a second. Charlie Kirk was just shot on a college campus in Utah. Did you see what I just saw? Is it bad? Okay. Charlie Kirk was just shot at his campus in Utah. Why are you laughing? He is my friend. Your first reaction is to Charlie Kirk is a d, and you're smiling, and you laugh that my friend just got shot. You had the audacity to laugh? If you think shooting Charlie Kirk is justified because you disagree with his political opinions, you need to study your heart. Abortion culture has led to a desensitizing of our nation, where we think we can shoot political enemies and we think it's justified. Do you guys think it's justified or a good thing that Trump got shot? Did you guys laugh? Charlie was shot in the neck, by the way. And you're laughing and clapping for it. What you all did, you're laughing. So today when we were setting up, someone said, "F those babies, kill them all." That's what, and you laughed again.
They start laughing. Laughing. Like it's some kind of comedy sketch. Let that sink in. A man is lying there, bleeding out. His children will grow up without a father. Not to mention they were there. It is one of the most ugliest moments in recent American history. And these college kids are giggling like they just won a prize. That's not education. That's indoctrination. They're being trained up as Antifa's junior varsity. And it's happening all across the Western world. And if you think it stopped at the undergrads, think again. Take the Oxford Union president, for example. This guy paraded around as the same brilliant young thinker. He even once debated Charlie Kirk. But if you've ever watched that debate, the idea of him being a bright mind goes right out the window in about 5 minutes. Yet, here he is, a so-called student leader. Supposedly the future of political thought out of Oxford University. Oxford. And this is the kind of product they're turning out. Check it out.
To effectively create change in the world we desire. And Side Prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation. And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by
an outright call to violence against conservatives. Plain and simple. And now we're finding out that the very same Oxford Union president, Mr. Future Political Thought, was reportedly celebrating after Charlie Kirk was shot. A group chat message allegedly from him popped up where he wrote, quote, "Charlie Kirk was shot, let's go." Like he had just scored tickets to a concert. This isn't some random troll online. This is a student leader at one of the world's most prestigious universities, openly cheering a political assassination. Think about the twisted nature of that. He once stood face to face with Charlie Kirk in a debate. He looked him in the eye, and now he's gleeful that that man is dead. That's not just immoral. That's inhumane. And it proves exactly why Donald Trump is putting universities like Harvard and Oxford and the rest of these ivory towers on notice. Because they're not producing educated citizens anymore. They are cranking out radicalized activists. They've brainwashed an entire generation into thinking they're fighting some grand anti-fascist war. And who do they label as fascists? You, me, Charlie Kirk, every conservative in America? And to put that into perspective, I've even got a clip from 2019 of Charlie Kirk himself reacting to students calling him a fascist at one of his events. Let's take a peek at that real quick.
Charlie Kirk. Yes. And why do you say that?
I don't know. Seems like a
Don't you think that if you're going to, attack a guy like that, you should probably have some instances of things that he said that are offensive or that are racist or anything like that?
Comrades.
And what did they do that's fascist and that's racist?
Well, they are very supportive of white supremacist Donald Trump.
These people shouldn't be allowed to live.
I believe any Trump supporter is officially a fascist because he is a traitor at this point.
What did they say that's hateful and racist?
What I found to be most disheartening is that instead of actually coming in to have a conversation, they were screaming outside because it made them feel good, not because it actually did good. And I mean, this was kind of virtue signaling in real time. And unfortunately, the university administration or college professors, they weren't out actually encouraging the students to have dialogue or meaningful conversation. And Trish, what's so amazing is they couldn't even say one thing that I believe. Instead, it's just innuendo, it's open-ended insults, and it's things that are completely fake and false. And it's too bad because when you don't talk to people, then really bad things unfortunately start.
That is spot on. And here's the kicker. Not one of them could actually explain why. Ask them why Charlie Kirk was supposedly a fascist and you'll get nothing but blank stares and recycled slogans. It's parroting, plain and simple. The same tired spoon-fed lines fed to them by their professors. That's the culture these campuses have built. And it's dangerous. Universities are the epicenter, pumping it out nonstop, and Democrat politicians happily amplify it. Case in point, here's Kamala herself back in 2024, straight up calling Donald Trump a fascist on the record.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And people still act shocked when these young rats think that their violence is righteous. What do you expect? If you spend years labeling half the country as fascist, Nazis, or enemies of democracy, you're basically convincing kids they're living in some rerun of 1930s Germany. Keep hammering that into their heads long enough, and of course you're going to end up with blood on the streets. The universities aren't out of control anymore. They are simply out of their minds. At this point, they look less like schools and more like assembly lines for political extremism. And every day it just gets more clear and a whole lot more dangerous. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys for now. If you got something out of this video, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And then we'll catch you guys later.